Welcome to EM-Spire Magazine, where the E is for entrepreneur and the M is for motivator. I'm excited about today's show. We have a special guest, James Hunt. He's going to talk about his story, and I know this sounds a little cliche, but it really is a story from rags to riches and what he's doing in the community to pay it forward and pay it back. At this time, we're going to have a quick commercial break, and then we'll come back with Mr. Hunt. We're back from our short break, and we're going to bring in Mr. James Hunt, and we're going to talk about his amazing story. How are you doing today, Mr. Hunt? I'm glad to have you here.
I am glad to be here with you. Thank you. I'm doing well. How are you?
I am awesome. I'm awesome. I can't complain. I'm in Atlanta like you are. The sun is shining. It's nice. We're not too inundated with the pollen yet, so it's all good for sure.
It is.
So we are glad to have you here today. And I was reading your story about how that just 8 short years ago you were homeless in the streets of Atlanta, and how that you had an amazing journey, that you worked with several high-profile celebrity clients to help them better their situation. So tell us a little bit about your journey.
Wow. So about 8 years ago, the bottom of my life fell out, and I found myself homeless, having walked away from everything that I owned. And I had the audacity at the lowest point in my life to have this vision where I would start my own business. And so I decided, even though everything in life was working against me, that I would start this business. And I would walk to Starbucks. I didn't have a car. I would walk to Starbucks and sit in Starbucks. And I started my company from Starbucks. It has been 8 years now, and it has been an amazing journey with highs that I never even imagined could happen.
So we all know about that Starbucks life and that free Wi-Fi to get that work done. And so with what sparked that idea that, okay, I'm going to get out of this? What were some of the steps? Because a lot of times we find ourselves in situations and we know, we want to get out of them, but we have to have a plan. So what was that plan like?
So I think there's something about hitting the bottom that you have the audacity to actually believe that I can actually do something far greater than anything that I had ever done before. And I figured, like, well, life could not get any worse. So I wasn't worried about the risk. I had no risks. And so I just was going to start this company. And there were many days that I sat in Starbucks and could not even afford a cup of coffee. And was tempted to ask them for a job. But I pursued my dreams, and I would sit in there. I was also writing a book, so I would come back at night and I would write in my book and transcribe the book that I was writing. And I just believed that God had something else for me. And I believed that I was just like on the verge of it. And that if I gave up, that I could really lose everything. So I just simply pursued it.
I can definitely relate to that. I had a tragedy in my life, and I was finishing up my degree after many years of absence. And when that happened, my school counselor came to me and she said, "You know, you have, if anybody, you have the right to quit." But I knew at that point, if I felt like if I quit then that would be the end for me. So I had to keep going. And not only that, I ended up taking up another program. So right in the middle of a tragic situation, losing my daughter, I ended up at the end of the year getting to a certification and my degree. So I understand how it is to keep going at those points. So let's just talk about the book. Um, how did the book get finished? Is it out? And what is the book about?
So the book is about debt free is the new rich. I was having I didn't get the title until years later. I was writing the book, and I had a heated debate with a client, which is a rapper, Flocka, and I was having this heated debate with him about his finances and how to aggressively handle them. And he was telling me how rich he was, and I was telling him that your signature at this point is only good for an autograph, and that if you were going to actually aggressively take charge of your financing and your credit issues, if you did not take care of it, then just simply your signature would not have any value. And in the heat of the argument, I blurted out the words, debt free is the new rich. And it sort of like stayed with me. As soon as the words left my mouth, I understood that it was a title to that, and it became the title to the book.
All right, debt free is the new rich. Okay, where's the T-shirt? It's got to be a T-shirt to go along with the book for sure.
I had multiple T-shirts from that also. Yes. But
Awesome. I like
it was an amazing journey. So at the time that I was selling him, he was one of the few first celebrity clients. And now it is over 500 celebrity clients. And you name it, from the who's who, from the NBA, the NFL, the music industry, actors, everybody, all of the who's who, especially among the Black community of celebrities, are my clients. And it is just so amazing for people who understand my journey to watch it. It is just absolutely so amazing. So amazing that you understand that you cannot take credit for it, because you recognize that it was the hand of God that was on you, that were blowing. And literally at some point in your life, you realize that in this process that he's blessing everything that I'm touching. And you realize, this isn't me. This isn't I'm not this smart. I'm not this educated. This is him. And then you understand that. And then once you understand that, then you begin to walk in it, because it's now acceptable, because I know that he has my back. And if he's doing this, and he's doing it for me, then I can walk into it with the confidence of being able to sit down with clients that are worth over $100 million and advise them. And I don't even have a high school diploma. It is amazing.
That's amazing. It definitely is. We know the wisdom comes from on high, and he can definitely direct our paths for sure. I'm a true believer of that, and open doors that we never even knew, existed. So I get it. My father taught me something a long time ago as a lesson, and it was kind of by the way it happened in his life. It's truly not what you get, but it's what you hold on to. And I think, especially in the celebrity space, where people are, they get all of a sudden these big paychecks in many cases, and then a couple, years line, when that fame is so fleeting, and you may only have that moment in the spotlight. A lot of careers, are kind of like peaks and valleys. So you may be on peak one day and in the valley the next. So I think people think, oh, celebrities, they have money, they don't need these services, but they're probably one of the main people that need the services so that they can have some sustainability and be able to give back in the community and not just have these peaks and valleys. So you're definitely providing a valuable service for sure. So we're going to go into another commercial, and we'll be right back with you.
Yes.
So we are back with commercials. We are talking to James Hunt, known as the Credit Guru. He was sharing his story and the work that he does, but I really want to get into that giving back because I was very impressed. You know, in my business, we deal with a lot of celebrities, and even though I've been in Georgia for a while, I grew up in Southern California, so I'm used to that life and being around. And but what I really love that you're doing, what I read about, is what you're doing with young men, because that's really needed. I know in moving from California to Atlanta, I was very surprised about the poverty gap between those that have and those that don't, because you hear, oh, Atlanta's the Mecca and all this, but they don't talk about that other side, that there are so many between. It was very astonishing when I saw the projects here and when I saw some of the communities that I really didn't even know existed. I didn't know that side existed until I got here. So it's very important. So I really would love to hear about the program that you have for the young men and what is your goal to achieve for that program?
So let's just say that it did not start off as a program. I have always understood the value of giving back, and that if you are going to be successful, or to whom much has been given, much is also required of you. And so whenever you're in a position to hire people, and I have close to 10 full-time employees right now. So whenever you're in a position to hire people, you kind of like want to be sort of like selective with the people that you hired. I decided that I was not going to go to the college campuses or over to Morehouse or to Spelman to actually choose my employees, but I hired people like that were waiters at a restaurant and living in Bankhead with no real means of income, no real means of livelihood. One employee was a waiter. Another employee was a busboy at another restaurant who had a boss that was talking really horrible to him in profane languages in the open at a bougie restaurant here in Buckhead. And I saw it. I saw what was going on. And I immediately stepped in and offered him a job and told him he did not have to take that, and that tomorrow he began working with me. And he has been working for me for now 3 years. So there is a responsibility that successful people have to breed success into other people. And that's the way I see it is that I'm breeding the same success that I have and that I have been able to achieve. I'm trying to breed it into the others, because if you're only successful with what you do and what you have, and then I say that you're really not successful. If you're the person who is really successful is the person who breeds success. and he can actually take a person out of a really bad situation and put him in another situation that is favorable, and then teach him the job skills of what it takes to actually have it, and then let him flourish in it. And that is what I have done with all of my employees, making sure that they maintain good credit. Many of them did not have good credit when they started working for me, making sure they had new credit, they got new cars. I moved everybody from whatever environments that they were living in. Everybody lives in Buckhead, which is close to the offices. And so I have consistently increased them and challenging them to go from one level to the next and breeding them. And they are literally my sons. They are employees, but literally they are my sons.
Awesome. Now, do you plan on having any kind of formalized program, or is just through bringing them on and kind of mentoring them through what you do?
So there are other people who don't work for me who I take under, and I have like this mentorship program, and some of them have their own businesses, and some of them are employees working for another company, and I am sort of like this motivating factor that challenges them to think outside of the box, to consider the impossible, or what they considered impossible at one point.
So I'm glad that we had you today, and it's been very motivating, your story and everything that you're doing, and the mentorship that you have with the young men to be an example, because that's needed in our community for sure. We need Black men to lead Black boys and Black young men to show them the way, because they don't have a lot of examples, and they don't need perfect people, but they need people that are willing to reach back and willing to impart in them. And so kudos to you for the work that you're doing. So if you had one message that you wanted to just give, if this is the message that's going to go out to the whole world, what would it be? It could be anything that you want to share.
It is that life isn't over with. I mean, that no matter what you're going through right now, that there is better, that there is greatness inside of you. And I wish someone had told me years ago, and I wish someone had told me when I was the ages of my employees and the young mentees that I have, that greatness was inside of me. I did not know that. No one did not ever speak that into me. I did not get that from my parents. And so I have a responsibility to help them find it, to first let them know that it is in them, and then to help them to discover it so that they can live their best lives.
I love that. I'm actually a part of a movement called Genius is Common, and we get to go out when school was open, we would go out sometimes and mentor the young people. And the message of Genius is Common is that everybody has a genius inside of them. And a lot of times we don't hear that. And so I see that your message is similar, that, we all have that potential to dig down and to pull ourselves up. If the sun comes up, and especially with all that's happened in the past year or so with the pandemic, I love the saying that I hear, I'm on the wake up list. I'm glad that I was on the wake up list this morning. And that means more than ever, because so many people were not on that wake up list. And if we're on the wake up list, then we have an opportunity to turn lives, to change things. And I love what you're doing, and we appreciate you. Thank you for stopping by with this on EM-Spire today, and just have a very inspiring day. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So I am Renata, the CEO of EM-Spire TV and EM-Spire Publications. I know you don't often see me in front of the camera, but we had a wonderful interview today with James Hunt. Definitely we'll have the contact information when we share this interview, how to find out what he's doing in this company, if you need your credit repaired or whatever you need done to get a part. If you want to just get the book and have some inspiration, we'll have that information for you. So thank you for joining us today on EM-Spire.